So what is anxiety? Anxiety is a feeling that we all experience various times throughout the day, and it's a natural feeling. But when that feeling starts taking over your life, then that's when it starts becoming a problem. I suffered from low-level anxiety for most of my life, and it was something I could manage. I just thought it was me. It, for the most part, it meant that I never actually felt that I could truly relax and turn off. Even if I was sitting watching TV at night, I had to be doing something else as well. I never actually had that feeling of inner peace. I always felt that I hadn't done enough. I couldn't get things done fast enough either. If I was doing one activity, I was stressed about the fact that I wasn't doing the other activity. And I always felt that I was just this simmering pot. And then it really didn't take much for me to boil over or to get really agitated by things which were fairly irrelevant, people in traffic, in queues, not getting where I wanted to be quickly enough. But like I say, it was something I managed for quite a while. It kind of started progressing a few years ago, and then I would find that I'd have to-do lists, and I'd even have to-do lists prioritizing to-do lists, and had this very strange behaviour of putting things on the to-do list that I'd already done just so I could cross it off and make myself feel better about it, which is pretty bonkers. I developed some mild OCD behaviours where I would feel that I would constantly go back whenever I left the house to go and check that the front door was shut, or I'd get 2 minutes down the road and kind of panic that I'd left the straighteners on, or the hob was on, or I'd left the iron on, and so I'd go back and go check these things, and they were never on. I just didn't trust myself. I didn't trust myself to. I felt that a lot of the time I was so busy in my head that I wasn't really paying attention to what I was doing, so I couldn't remember whether I'd turned the straighteners off. But that was all fairly low level and manageable, and I don't think anyone really ever saw that I was anxious. And but I think things for me started to really kick in about 4 years ago, when a particularly stressful event hit my life, and I think the pressure of that took my anxiety to a place where I was really out of control. And I call it anxiety, but I don't know whether there'd be a different medical term for it. But the feelings that I had, that tension, that kind of feeling all the time that I had an elephant sitting on my chest. It was almost a struggle to breathe at times. There were times where I felt that I couldn't even think. Someone would ask me something and it was like my brain had vacated and gone, and I was just sitting there thinking, I actually just have no idea how to answer this question. And just inability, and almost sometimes as well, I would have this physical paralysis as well as mental paralysis, where I would literally be sitting there not even knowing how to do the simplest task. Or I was out once and walking down the high street and just having this kind of crescending feeling coming down onto me. It's like I was walking back to the car and just thinking, I don't know how I'm ever going to get home. It's like time had distorted in a way, and my footsteps didn't actually seem to be taking me anywhere. And I think that very much led me, because I was feeling these kind of very strange feelings. I didn't trust my judgment. It was like people and things were happening in my life, and I was like, is this my fault? What's going on? I didn't know where I could trust myself anymore. And that led to feeling like totally overwhelmed. And I do remember a time where I was sitting with a friend and we were just having a chat about gardening, and sitting there and having this bizarre sensation that I was looking in on myself, having the conversation. And I was laughing, chatting, and behaving totally normally. Whereas the other part of me was literally saying, how the hell are you doing this? How are you performing so normally when you feel like you're literally going to break and completely have a total utter breakdown? But no one could see it. And I had family around me who were supporting me and helping me, and it was a particularly stressful time in my life. But I just felt so alone and so isolated because I so wanted to be in control. I so wanted to be me, but it was just like I wasn't me anymore. I'd lost so much of me. This then just I suppose came to a point ahead when I remember having a particularly challenging conversation with someone, and I just stopped breathing. I had what I would call a panic attack, where I forgot how to breathe. And I was sitting there and the fact that I couldn't breathe then sent me into even more panic. Fortunately, the person with me helped me. And then within an hour on my way home, I had another panic attack as I got to the gate of my house. And my kids were with me, and I had to get out of the car and hang over the car door and try to start breathing again. So my experience with anxiety has been something that's gone from, I'd say, managing it from a very low level to experience very high levels of anxiety, which caused quite severe physiological problems for me. And that's where I knew I needed to get help. And what my message to you and anyone else out there who is feeling any of these symptoms is that you do need to look at what's going on inside, because it is your body telling you. And if you don't pay attention, then the messages just get louder and stronger. And what I actually learnt from my process of understanding and getting help with anxiety is that it comes down to two things: the thoughts in your mind and the beliefs that you have.